We are so glad that you are here with us. When you come on, please tell us hello. Tell us how you're doing and tell us where you're from. I've got Miss Victoria here, so if you have any questions about what we're doing or how we're doing things, don't hesitate to ask those. Today, what we are going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing, is I am going to decorate this door right here behind me. So this is a grapevine arch that we got, last fall, Victoria? I guess we picked it up during the fall. And we had a sweet little man from North Mississippi come down, and he had these on his truck. He makes grapevine wreaths and these beautiful arches. And so I thought that that's what we would do. We would decorate this arch for Easter and spring. And so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So I will tell you that I am going to use a lot of dollar store products and then some things that I got that we have here at the shop. But the first thing I'm going to use is a pool noodle. That might sound strange, but I'm going to use this as the foam to attach my flowers to on this arch. So I am going to take just a floral knife and I'm going to cut it about a third of the noodle. Now this was at the Dollar Tree, so it was $1.25. Bye, Callie. So we are outside, so I'm just warning you, if you hear a lot of background noise, it's because you can hear it from the road. So forgive us for that. I'm going to take, this is about a third of a pool noodle, and like I said, I just picked this up at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I have, and y'all forgive me for sniffing, I have sneezed about 1,000 times today. I don't exactly know what's going on with me. So I apologize if I'm sniffing. I'm going to try to be mindful of that. So I'm going to take some florist wire, and I've got my handy dandy ladder, and I am going to attach this piece of a noodle to this arch. And I'm going to attach it about right here. So I'm going to drop that wire because I got too much. And I'm just using a piece of florist wire. And I'm going to run that wire right up underneath that arch. And just tie it right to that arch with the wire. Okay, so I just took it and tied it right to the arch with the florist wire, so it's attached pretty well. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take, yesterday I made a pretty wreath, a fun Eastery wreath with Forsythia branches, and I'm going to use the same branches to decorate this door. So I've got my handy dandy wire snips. And a lady asked yesterday what was the brand of wire snips that we used, and these are Cobalt. Cobalt with a K, K-O-B-A-L-T. I bought these at Lowe's. I don't even remember how expensive, but they're also on Amazon. And if you're interested, I can link it to my Amazon account so that you can have that link. If you're interested, just let me know. But I am just taking several of these branches and I'm just snipping them apart. Any questions, Miss Victoria?
Allison said, whoa, we have two different camera angles.
I know, we're fancy, Allison. We're fancy.
She said we're getting fancy now, aren't we?
We're trying, Allison. We are doing our best to get fancy. Todd's in there barking. Okay. So I have several branches snipped off. I am going to let Todd out real quick. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay, So I have my branches. Oh, and you've got that turned up way loud in there, don't you? Okay, be sure to take your tags off. So I'm going to start out with some long branches first.
They're saying hi to Todd.
So all I'm doing, guys, is I am just taking these branches and I am just sticking them right down into that pool noodle. So the pool noodle is doing all the work. It is holding those branches into place. Put that in my back pocket because that'll be the easiest.
Vicky says, hello, Canada here. My lucky week. Caught you twice.
Yay!
You're so creative. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if you ever need a good ladder, this is the best ladder. I got it for Christmas. I told my sister that's what I wanted for Christmas. It's a Costco ladder. I think it came from Lowe's. And it is wonderful. You don't feel like you're going to fall off. And it's very lightweight, so it's easy to carry with you. So I am just taking these branches and I am just pressing them right into this pool noodle. And you saw, I don't know if you saw the video where I did this exact thing in the fall with fall leaves. But I took the fall leaves and pressed them right into that pool noodle. And it worked perfect. It stayed in place with no problems whatsoever. So I am going to take this branch and I'm going to cut it in smaller pieces. And I'm going to fill in right here in the center.
Joyce Vineyard says, hello, Monty and Victoria. Doing good here in Oklahoma. Making the outside of the shop to look very Easter. Good job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sweetbriar says, love your rustic cross.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So I'm just taking and cutting these branches into tiny pieces. And I will just clean up the mess later.
Allison says, love that the Forsythia on the grapevine is going to tie into the adorable wreath you made.
Yes, that was the point. And so I've got, I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I'll show a picture. We've kind of worked on this little area over here, and I have that, that little wreath that I made on a screen door over here in the corner. Oops, I'm dropping stuff. So I am just taking each little branch and just pressing it right into that pool noodle.
Let's see. Thank you, Bonita Gayton. Thank you. Lenice asks, where's that pretty wreath that you made for your door?
I'll show it. I'll hang it on the door in just a minute when we finish. I've got it over here. Now I wasn't sure how easy it would be for me to cover that green noodle. I went with that lighter color in hopes that it would be fairly easy to cover. So we're going to have to see. I do have some foliages that I thought we would add. So I'm just taking and cutting up these branches just into smaller pieces.
John Palmer says, you can hear the birds singing there.
You can, John, yes. We are just right outside of the flower shop. We have a good many trees, and so the birds are happy. It is warm, warm, warm here today. I think the high here was 85 degrees, and we had to turn the air conditioner on in Mississippi, which feels ridiculous on July the 23rd. Who turns on their air conditioner July the 23rd? Those people in Mississippi.
You mean February?
I mean February. February. I'm sorry. Did I say July? It feels like July. No, it's not quite as hot as July. February. I'm sorry. February the 23rd. Thanks, Victoria. Take care of me, girl. I need as much help as I can get. Okay. Let's come in with a little bit of greenery. So these are some bushes that we ordered. I think I got these off of a florist truck. They bring different types of silks and ribbons and the things. And so let's fill in with a little bit of foliage so that we can cover that noodle. It's going to be really important that that noodle doesn't show. So I'm just going to take and cut all of the little stems.
Miss Shelby asks, how did you fasten the pool noodle to the wreath?
So I just used some florist wire. I used 21 gauge, here it is, 21 gauge florist wire. And I want to say it's about 18 inches long. And I just came around that grapevine arch and I just tied it that way. Now the arch is actually tied to the wall. There are some nails on each corner of the door frame. And so I just used the same type of wire and tied it to the wall so the arch is not going to come down. Alrighty, let's see. So I'm going to take just these little branches and I am just going to tuck them right into that pool noodle. What these are going to do is camouflage that green color of that noodle.
Vicky asks, whose home is that? Monty's?
This is the flower shop. This is our flower shop. And so it was an old home. It was probably built in the 40s, I would say. It's not anything fancy, but this is the flower shop.
Sweetbriar, my trip was good. We ate a lot of good food and did a lot of fun things, but it's good to be back.
We're thankful to have you back, sister. I'm going to take another, this one's kind of a eucalyptus, so I'm going to take another one. I wonder, okay, let's try this first. So I found at the Dollar Tree, so I've been, I made yesterday's wreath with several things that came from the Dollar Tree, and I went and picked up this pool noodle from the Dollar Tree, and they had this little greenery garland. And I thought, well, for $1.25, that would give us a little bit of foliage in our garland, in our piece around the door. So let's see if one of my little pieces of greenery fell off. Let's see how this works in it. I got several of these. I really think they're cute. So let's see if this is going to at all work. I may have to make some little pins with my pieces of wire. I may just have to wire it in. Let's just grab those.
Belle's Bliss Design says, I need your florist truck with silks and ribbons to come south.
Ah, no. How far? Where are you, Bells? Where's Bells?
I don't remember.
Are they South Mississippi?
I think so. I think it is South Mississippi. South, more so.
Does Tremont not go that south? Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking that little garland and I'm just going to run it kind of into the piece. Let's see if I'm not going to fall off this thing.
Belle says southwest Mississippi between Macomb and Natchez.
Macoma Natchez. Let me see. Let me reach out to some people, and I'll see if I can find somebody that'll come that far. Okay, I just kind of tucked that in. I'm going to take a couple more of these wires though, because it's wanting to kind of tip. So I'm going to take another wire and run it through the grapevine. I do think it's going to have some ribbon in it so that it has enough color to cover up that. I want to cover that noodle. I don't want that noodle to stand out as much as it's standing out. So I'm going to take a little bit more of this greenery. And I'm going to take another piece of the Forsythia and I'm going to cut it in smaller pieces so that we can fill in and get it really full.
Allison says, because I love technology, how does it work with the camera angles? It seems like it changes automatically when you start working on the door.
That's you, Victoria. That is a you, sister. I don't know a thing about it.
Well, me and Owen hooked up 2 different cameras, and so what I'm doing, I'm actually just changing the angles. We're using a YOLO box, so I'm able to change the angles of the cameras. So anytime she steps away, I just change it to one camera, and every time she steps to the door, I change it to the
awesome,
other camera.
Victoria. I didn't even know it was you.
It was me.
You're the magic. I didn't even know it. Victoria's magic. Okay, so I'm going to take another. I didn't even know. I just thought it was smart. And it's not. It's you. You're the smart one. That's exciting. Okay, I'm going to take this little tiny stem or Forsythia, and I am going to cut it into some tiny little pieces. That way I can press it kind of around the base and fill in. I'm still trying to camouflage the pool noodle because that's important. So you just keep adding until you're happy, really. Take off the tags. That's important. It's always important to take off the tags.
Miss Mary Lou says, I love the cross hanging. Did you make that, Mommy?
I did not. We have a precious little lady named Miss Jean who comes she comes up from near Memphis. She comes down from near Memphis. She's in North Mississippi, I believe. And Miss Jean hand makes those crosses, and she did this little birdhouse. I don't know if you can see the birdhouse. She built the little birdhouse, but she does, we had some little churches in there that she's made. So she makes all those different pretty things. And so we have several of those for sale, but I was trying to make this kind of look like a room out here, like a little welcoming room. And so that's the reason I decided to hang that sweet cross. Okay, so I've cut this Forsythia in some tiny pieces. Throw it on the floor. And I am just going to fill right in where my noodle is kind of green. Where it's kind of peeking through. So I'm just going to take and try to... And it's not going to be perfect, I mean, but at least it's kind of camouflaged. There's Tasha. Hey, Owen, there's Miss Tasha with her arrangement.
Vicky says, wow, that looks like a cute entrance to a cottage.
Thank you, Miss Vicky. Thank you so much.
And Miss Linda says, love the front of your shop. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's okay. Yeah. Owen's in there, Miss Sheila.
I don't want it like not finished.
Oh, I just dropped a piece, so let's pick that up.
Okay.
Okay, so you see how it's full. It's really full, and I think it's covered enough of the noodle that I don't think it's shining through. I'm gonna pick up these few pieces. I'm gonna show you too. I don't think I'm gonna put a ribbon in it because I think, it's already done. I think a ribbon's going to be too much, and I don't think a ribbon is necessarily going to be what I'm thinking. I am going to put a ribbon here, though. So let me stick one more piece in. Happy birthday, best friend.
I didn't know you were on TV.
I'm on TV. Okay, let me pick up some of my mess. Okay, so what I thought I would do next is this little welcome sign here. I'm going to move this. This little welcome sign is loose. And so with the weather will catch it and it's going to fall. What I'm going to do is I have taken, this is some of that ribbon that I used yesterday on that wreath. I'll move that wreath real quick so you can see it on the door.
John Miller asks, is the grapevine still from Christmas?
Yes, that's that same grapevine from Christmas.
And Miss Lenise asks, would a pool noodle work to put flowers on a mailbox?
Yes, I think so. As long as you are able to attach it, I think it would work perfect. It's going to hold up to all the weather. You shouldn't have any problems with that pool noodle. You just need to make sure that your flowers are going to be weatherproof, you know, and all of this would work fine in the weather. I'm going to take a piece of this wired ribbon, and I am just coming around that, I'm coming around here, around the arch, and I am just going to tie this ribbon kind of to the side up here. Now what this is just going to do for me is it is going to hold, it's going to hold this in place. It's not going to go anywhere, right? So next what I'm going to do, and I'm going to turn it a little more so it doesn't cover up my welcome, we're going to make a bow. So I'm going to use the same ribbons that I used. I was looking for my scissors. I may have to get Owen to bring me some scissors.
Thank you, Miss Elsie. She says hello, Mommy.
Hello, hello.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Bell's Bliss Design says, y'all ladies are the best. I've been on the phone today. Tremont was on my list for tomorrow to call and see.
Yes, call Tremont. Tremont has all, actually this Forsythia came from Tremont. I don't think the foliage came from Tremont, but the Forsythia did. I'm going to step in here, Victoria, and grab some scissors. Give me 2 seconds.
Here, I'll zoom in so y'all can see a little bit more of that, the wreath with the arrangement.
Todd, go in or stay out. You just make your choice, Bubba. Just make your choice, Bubba. Okay, so I am going to tie.
Everyone's saying it's beautiful, it's
Thanks!
amazing.
Isn't that fun? And how easy is that? To use a pool noodle, and then you didn't do all that gluing and all of that attaching. I used a pool noodle over nope, it was the fall when I did the fall leaves, right? And so I did the fall leaves and I didn't have any issues with losing anything. It stayed in there with no problems. Okay, so I picked the worst scissors. So I have my bow. And I'm just going to take and tie that bow right here into that ribbon that I tied around that.
Miss Linda says, I love that cross. Did you say you sell them at the shop?
We do, yes ma'am. right, so there is our bow. Now I may even take this and just kind of pull it to the side a little more. But I just thought that would kind of decorate our little welcome sign. And our little welcome sign just sits right in the flower bed. Now our flower bed is a little pitiful because, well, first of all, you can't get too carried away with buying pretty plants to put in your flower bed when it's February the 23rd. Although it feels like it's June in Mississippi, you've got to be careful with not planting new plants before the last frost. And it is very, very likely that we'll get another frost. So I have to be careful with decorating and getting ready to get out in the yard and plant, because it is very likely we may have several more frosts before the season is over. So that's the reason my flower beds don't look so great. But there you have it. There is our door for Easter. And I am tickled pink. I think it's really cute. What do you think, Victoria?
Oh, it's so cute. Don Miller says it looks like Peter Rabbit's home.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. But I just thought that was so fun. I loved how our wreath turned out yesterday. And I thought, you know what? We've got to do this grapevine around the door. Now, for me personally, I think this is plenty to go on the grapevine. But if you like it bigger and better, absolutely go bigger and better. I will tell you, this is the best grapevine I have ever purchased to go around a door. And like I said, it was a little gentleman who handmade these arches, and it is wonderful. I mean, I'm very, very pleased with how it looks. It makes the door look so pretty, and it works perfectly to add stuff into. And we can get those if anybody's interested. I don't have any here on hand, but I can certainly get those too if anybody's interested in that.
Leanne says, so pretty. What do you do to secure and avoid theft? At my shop, I spent $200 on beautiful planters that were heavy as lead. Came back the next morning to find them stolen.
Knock on wood, I have never had anything stolen. We are set off the road. Oh, mister. Thank you for letting me know. We are set pretty far off the road. This is the back of the flower shop. So you come around, it's kind of a round driveway, and you come up one driveway, you park here in this back parking lot, and then this is the door you enter. We've never had anything stolen. This is attached to the wall in a couple of places. Not that even would deter anybody. They could snatch it right down. But we've just been lucky that we've never had anybody steal anything.
Miss Debbie says, wow, that's awesome. Now you need to put something back on the screen door.
Yes, yes. And I think I will very likely put this back on the screen door, and we will make something for this door. This door, it doesn't have very much protection from the weather. And at Valentine's Day, we put the cutest red and pink and white wreath on this door, and it was another Dollar Tree sign. That was $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. And over the season, because we had a good bit of wet, a good bit of rain and wet and cold and hot and all the things, the little pictures started to peel up. I will probably hang this back on the screen door because I've got a good overhang where the screen door is. So I will probably hang this back over there, and I may do a cute little swag for this door that it's okay if it gets wet. It won't be a problem. But I am so tickled with how cute the carrots look. The carrots make me so happy.
Jolinda says, I love the door. Beautiful. Is this the shop?
This is the flower shop. Yes, this is the back door. This is the door where the customers enter. We do have a front door that nobody enters. It's in our front yard, and you would have to go around from the parking lot to enter the front door. So we find it so much better just be a back door guest, because those are the best, right?
Dawn Miller asks, what is the price of the cross?
I want to say that these crosses are $75. But this is, I don't know if you can see this. I got something stuff up in there. But this is the little birdhouse. And so it has a little planter in the bottom. So you can add a little flower or a pretty plant. You can add ribbon to it if you want to. Also puts those big bows on there. I had this set out for the holiday season. It had the bow on it. But the bow kind of wilted, kind of melted. You know how they'll do. And so I pulled the bow off. But I love the birdhouses too. We sell these a lot for funerals, or as welcoming gifts, like a home, you know, home welcoming, those kind of things. But we really like them, and they're good thing. I mean, you know, they're real hardy and good. They hold up well.
Miss Corrine asks, where did you purchase your flowers? I think.
Okay, so the Forsythia actually came from a local wholesaler, so we bought that wholesale. This greenery came from the Dollar Tree, and this is kind of a garland, and I am very excited about these, y'all. They're kind of a little bit of a funny color, but they had several different varieties, and I just loved them. But these were $1.25. And then the little greenery bushes that I tucked in also came from our wholesaler. So we can buy those, and you could buy those from us if anybody's interested. The little greenery bushes were $7.99 a piece. And we've got several varieties of those. And then the Forsythia bush is $19.99 a bush. So like this whole, that's $19.99. But you saw how much I got out of it when I cut it up into tiny pieces. You know, it goes a long way, I think. But y'all, this is that $1.99. I mean, $1.25. I love it. I'm very pleased with this.
Phyllis asks, have you ever tried putting Mod Podge on the plaques? Might save it a little longer.
I haven't even thought about it, but you're right. That might do it. That might help with the weather. Thank you for that suggestion. I'll try that.
Miss Deborah says you can spray it with a clear sealer and it won't get wet.
That would work too. Thanks, ladies. Thank you so much for your suggestions. That's wonderful. And I may do that with the Forsythia and even these little carrots. And that way it might keep them through the season. The little carrots I did pick up at the Dollar Tree, and this little plaque I picked up at the Dollar Tree. But I always like to use things that y'all are able to go and get, and maybe you can put something together. Because I think it's so nice for it to be something that you can do on your own too.
Carter Holland asks, how much are the birdhouses and could you ship it?
Whew, I'd have to figure out on shipping and how to box them so that they would be safe. These birdhouses are 100. But I would have to look into the shipping and all that kind of stuff. But I can sure look into that if you're interested. Just message me and I'll be happy to look into it for you. They love it. Thanks, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you to YouTube for being here with us, and for Facebook. We're so excited, and we're excited about our 2 cameras. I think it's going to be great for our little videos. Guys, we appreciate you all so very much. If you're ever interested in anything in particular that you'd like to see us work with, please don't hesitate to drop that in the comments below. We'd love some suggestions. If you ask Miss Dawn Miller, I ask her for suggestions all the time, and she is so precious because she'll send me, I think you should do this next, and it is wonderful. Let me just tell you, it's wonderful. Now, I will tell you, sometimes there are things that if I don't do them regularly here in the shop, I may not have the opportunity to put something like that together. But I do love suggestions, and if I feel like I can't do it, I'll certainly let you know. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you all tomorrow. Y'all have a great evening.